This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus every one of the homies with us today.
We actually really do have all the homies.
What up, homies?
That's you over there.
Oh, I'm a homie.
Good to hear from you, Sam.
All of them here. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, and while we may be a day late and a few dollars short, we are coming with all the fun today. I am Muff, the host of this ragtag group of people.
That came off like I am Groot. I am Muff.
I am Muff.
Groot. I love Groot. He's so cute.
The person who thinks that Groot is cute is the guru of all things glitter, founder of Harper and Company.
I love that.
Sam.
Harper and Company.
Harper and Company.
Also joining in the Harper household is the guru of officiating, the man who just got back from umpiring a baseball game, Nate.
Word of advice: don't do squats and then go do an umpire baseball game.
Okay, in my defense, I did tell you last night that was a bad idea, and you said it'd be fine.
It is fine, other than my hamstrings are killing me.
Fine.
So with us is a man from Ohio, the guru of, I don't know, Jim, Ohio betting things, Ohio State, the Buckeyes.
I don't know if I'm feeling guru-y. I'm just a guy.
Ohio Homer, Jim.
Yeah, I'll take the Ohio Homer. Hello, friends.
And lastly, the guru of all things medicine, person who helps us break down when things go wrong, Alex.
That's me.
You got such a cool title.
Changes periodically. Oh, well. So we got a full slate of stuff to chat about today, including Brooks Koepka, somebody on the other tour.
Koepka!
Winning the PGA Championship, putting the golf world in a pretzel on how to celebrate his historic accomplishments. We will talk more about it. But don't worry, there was another story throughout last weekend's PGA Championship that allowed everyone to avert their eyes from LIV golfers.
So LIV golfer wins, but we're not going to talk about that very much.
Oh, no, we will.
No, I'm talking about the media. The media, not us, but the media. They want to hype up other things and not dwell on the fact that a LIV golfer won the PGA Championship.
Well, there was a feel-good story in there, Jim. And even you might
I don't disagree.
Even you might feel good about it. Oh,
I do.
Feel good, better about this than you did about that guy in Dallas being drafted and his dad calling him?
That's called nepotism.
Okay. As always, thanks to Loyal Listener Club for helping the show continue to grow. If you are a loyal listener, if you are a new listener, please share with a friend. Connect with us on social media at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on YouTube, Facebook. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get that bell on.
Do it all.
Catch all the episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and stream them on YouTube to keep us moving down the tracks.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what?
How about you like some of Muff's shorts? If you're on the Instagram or you're on Facebook,
the videos.
Hit the like button. Yeah, not his cargo shorts. Hit the like button on our social media. Our buddy Muff putting in the work. Some of that shit is hilarious. Some of it is, well, still hit the like button because it's okay. He's putting in hard work. But
I'm only as good as the content that you all provide me.
Exactly.
Tickle him in his cargo shorts.
What's that, Alex?
Tickle him in his cargo shorts.
Tickle him in his cargo shorts.
Not sure if that's what we're looking for there. We're going to chat about the NHL playoffs. We're going to chat more about the PGA Championship. We're going to get into some football news, including the league meetings that are happening this week. Football, the NBA, some WNBA, and unfortunately, a bird not making it to the next day of its life. This time it wasn't Randy Johnson.
Get him.
All of that upcoming. First, a Pittsburgh Pirates update. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 24-22. I think about to become 25-22.
Get them.
Get after it. Let's pull up the score here. Live looking. The Pirates are up 6-2 against the Rangers in the bottom of the 8th.
All right. I'm not
That's
sure.
a winning record, boys.
It is, and we're still cooking. I'm trying to be positive. You're right.
That's right.
after I got over the initial shock of how quickly things started to plummet, and now that we were like in the full down, and now we're like not pulling up, but we're leveling out at least, and I can handle this. Like I can still be excited here if we're level,
Yep.
but like when we were full blown plummet, as a Pirates fan, I was not sure where that plummet was going to stop.
You got to find your level. You got to find your level. That's what they were doing.
Water always finds its level.
That's right.
So
All
we'll
bleeding
see.
stops eventually.
I don't know if Milwaukee's playing Monday today when we're recording, but they could be a half game out of first place. They could be still a game out. They could be tied. TBD.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Well,
Milwaukee live looking, end of the fourth inning, trailing the cheating bastards 3-1.
Wow.
so
That's not fair to Milwaukee, but
They're
good for the
probably cheating.
Pirates.
Pirates could be tied atop the NL Central again after today going into Tuesday. So
There we go, guys.
fun times. In the NHL playoffs, in the conference finals, every game through Sunday has gone into overtime, with the marathon being the Panthers up 2-0 after a 4 overtime win last Thursday in game 1 of their conference finals that lasted 6 hours. And then again, another OT win on Saturday to go up 2-0. I believe the game is happening right now, Nate. Do we have any score? Are we still at 0-0?
Still 0-0, just ended the first period.
Okay. So that's the Panthers versus the Hurricanes. And in the Western Conference, we have the Golden Knights up 2-0 on Dallas Hockey after, again, 2 overtime wins, 4-3 and 3-2. Their next game will be today, Tuesday, I believe, when you should be listening to this or thinking about listening to this.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the Kraken, huh? Not going to.
They're not playing anymore, Jim.
But I mean, we're not going to. We didn't. Last time we left us, there was a shot that the Kraken could be in. And if you watched game 7, woof. But I'm glad it's over. Truth be told,
you get normal sleep now?
I get normal sleep. But
Do your evenings feel empty though?
in the first week, yeah, it was kind of like, what am I going to do now? But I got over it quickly when I went to bed at a decent hour.
When you fell asleep, and it wasn't midnight, 1 o'clock. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, this
that
is
was
normal.
nice. That was a good feeling.
We can do this. Rest in peace, Jim Brown. Jim Brown passes away over the weekend. Hall of Famer, legend, activist, social activist, a lot of things, a lot of positive things to the world.
Very interesting. I had always known he was at the Cleveland Summit. I didn't realize that he founded the Negro Industrial Economic Union, later known as the Black Economic Union, helping to promote economic opportunities with minority-owned businesses. Didn't realize he had a lot more to do with the civil rights movement than just the Cleveland Summit. I didn't realize he had such a big hand in it. So I need to educate myself more. Also, I didn't realize he was on the FBI's monitor list. I mean, that list is very heavy of celebrities and whatnot from back in the 70s, but didn't realize he was one of them on the list. So do your research on Jim Brown. Like Muff said, there was an actor, football player, activist, lots of great things. So pose nude for Playgirl.
Never knew that.
Never knew that either.
Know that.
September 1974 issue.
For anybody out there who wants to, our demographic is definitely falling into this one, based on all of our data.
Yes. So, like I said, wild stuff. He led a full life. So do your recon on Jim Brown.
Indeed. So typically we'd get in some football news. Football's a little bit slower than normal. So just to stay, NFL is slower than normal. We have a good football chat, but it's not all NFL. To keep current, we're going to chat about the PGA Championship. That way we don't bury the lead. The LIV golfer did win. So Brooks Koepka beats Bess Victor Hovland on Sunday to claim his 3rd PGA Championship and 5th major of his career, putting him in select company, everybody, with names like Byron Nelson and Seve Ballesteros, and becoming a top 20 all-time major championship winner with his 5th. Quick, Jim, who has the most golf major championships?
Is that Arnie?
Same era, different guy.
Dang, I always mess this up.
Don't be confused with the actor.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus with 18, Jim. So
Thank
a
you.
long way away from. I wasn't going to make you come up with that number.
I was going to ask what that number was, so I'm glad you just said it.
Tiger's at second with 15.
Huh.
Koepka represents obviously LIV
Koepka.
Golf. And this was on display throughout the weekend, specifically on Saturday. He and Bryson were actually paired together, Jim, the big guy, who's not as big anymore.
I had heard that he had
He's slimmed
shrunk.
down like 30, 40 pounds, I think.
Do you think that was for career longevity?
I think it was that he just potentially career longevity, and also I think he kind of played out the I'm trying to hit the long ball, and I think it was like a goal of his, and then I think once the goal was kind of hit and he was not winning as much as he wanted to, he's like, maybe we go back to what I was doing before.
Gotcha.
I think. I'm not going to sit here and maybe a mix of all of those things. But on Saturday when they were paired together, on the first tee, Bryson was booed by pretty much everybody. I think there's a LIV situation there, as well as Bryson's not a well-liked player.
Yeah, he plays the heel.
PGA. So, I mean, that's, I think, par for the course. Brooks actually was also booed mostly. There were some cheers in there. But Brooks winning another major and returning to form. Do you all think this brings any more legitimacy or attention positively to LIV Golf as a league?
No.
I don't think that it ever wasn't legitimate golfers. I mean, I think the talent was always the same as it was whenever they were in the PGA Tour as far as the individual golfers. So I think that somebody winning one of these just says that golfer's still as good. I don't think it really does much for LIV itself.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I think that if you're going to be a LIV golfer and you're going over to the PGA Championship, you should expect to be booed.
I don't know about that. I'll pause that last one. Why should you expect to be booed?
Well, Jim,
because the Saudi thing.
This one specifically. Think of this as the PGA of America Championship.
Yeah.
So this is the most of all of them. It's like you left us.
Yeah, you left us. You went away. You're coming back. Boo! You suck. Why'd you leave?
I get that for this tournament, but if you come over to play other tournaments, should you expect to be booed?
No. I just mean for this specific tournament.
Well, they're only eligible to play in the major championships. They can't play in regular PGA Tour events.
I don't understand this whole booing the LIV thing, and maybe that's the wrestling fanboy in me, but like, I don't get why. Why do you care? You're seeing a good golfer
because you're taking away regular competition. Like you're down. I think you're taking away some of the legitimacy of your wins in the PGA tournament because a lot of good golfers went to LIV. So now instead of having one really great conference of golfers, say,
you
have two, but less good competition betweenst.
Okay, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not taking that point away at all. But my question for you, the fan, is what makes you want to boo seeing this golfer golf?
I think it seems like the people that went to LIV Golf took away that old integrity of that PGA, and the like true diehard golfers are going to see it as like a betrayal to the process, or not to the process, but like to the PGA. You've like betrayed us and left, and people are going to do what people are going to do, and they're going to express that by booing at them.
I just counter that person who boos and says, "Hey, buddy, if I'm going to give you a fat sack of money to come do something that is the opposite of what you've been doing for years, you're going to come get that fat sack of money."
If Ben Roethlisberger would have left and gone for a bigger contract to New England, and every time he came to Heinz Field after that, if he left purely for money, I'd have booed the shit out of him.
Alex, you work at an institution. You've been there for probably 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I called you tomorrow and said, "Hey, Alex, come to this institution for more money,"
we always say that people are dead to us when they do that.
But if you came, should I boo you?
If I had the opportunity to boo some of the people that have left us for money, I would. But we just tell them that they're dead to us when they call us.
To me, that's unrational.
I mean, after a while, we
Irrational, I'm
talk to
sorry.
them, but we do the initial reaction of "You're dead to us."
I don't
Actually, the
get that.
cake said, "You're dead to us. Good luck finding people cooler than us."
You have a wall of shame, Alex.
Is it people that leave you?
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny that there is a department on the hospital that has that, but yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find it.
I don't think you need to think too hard about that one, Alex.
That's a bit much for me.
Does Brooks winning take anything away from the PGA Tour, not having the individual who's winning the PGA's event?
I think it speaks, if you want to dig into it, it speaks to like, why is this guy not on the tour? He went and got that bag. Why don't we pay our golfers?
Fair enough. With this win, Brooks also gains Ryder Cup points, the Ryder Cup being the US versus Europe event that will happen in the fall. This will almost with these points at this point, with his second place Masters, first place champion of the PGA, be eligible to represent the United States against Europe based on those points. Well,
I won't boo him there.
Will the PGA maybe try to make a statement by excluding him?
That's America, Jim. That's different.
Does Jim have a
Do you
different
see
opinion?
how stupid that logic is?
No, I can boo Brooks Koepka, but when it's America, then it would be like booing America, and I'm not gonna boo.
But
America.
you're booing him
When
he went to the Saudi
American.
product.
Right.
But when he's representing America, it's okay.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you still boo him
No.
because he's a traitor and went
No.
to the Saudi product?
See, there's actually a discussion.
But then he comes back to America.
One of the broadcasters was like, well, he's representing America, and he said it in a very like cutting tone, like, well, he's not representing the PGA Tour or LIV Golf, he's representing the country, so that's different. We should not associate him with this other tour. Again,
This
the
is so
other
stupid.
tour.
This logic is flawed. This is like Yager going to play hockey for whatever country he's from, and you guys all being okay with it.
No, I'll boo him.
You would not boo Yarmir Yager. Shut
America
up,
first.
Alex. I call bullshit. Shut up. This is the first time in this entire podcast where I literally think you're full of shit. Like there's no way around it. You're playing the Muff card.
It's working.
Shut up. Next.
Michael Block was actually the darling. Brooks was the champion. Michael Block was the darling of the tourney as a PGA professional who not only had to qualify, this is a difference of the PGA Championship, is you have golf pros, golf professionals throughout the country that can qualify to play in this tournament, much like amateurs do and a lot of the other qualification standards. And then he stole the hearts of golfers everywhere by not only being top 10 going into Sunday's final round, he then slam dunks a hole-in-one during the round, which, if anybody has not seen the video, he didn't realize that he had hit a hole-in-one. He was playing with Rory McIlroy, which is his own thing in itself. If you've seen any of the videos leading up, every day was like a fairy tale for this man. But Rory actually had to tell him, hey, you got a hole-in-one, buddy. Like, it went up to like give him a high five and dap him up, and the guy's like, I had no idea what was going on. Rory's like, no, you got a hole-in-one. And it was pretty cool to see that. And then he actually got up and down on 18 to solidify a tie for 15th, which allows him to be automatically eligible for next year's PGA Championship. And he secured a $288,000 payday.
Good for him.
That's awesome.
So he's not like a hack, right? He's already a PGA pro. He's played in on United States teams against in other countries, and he's won 70 grand playing here and there. But before the 70 grand, he mentioned in an interview, he's like, the most I ever got paid for playing golf was winning something in California for like $4 grand. So this is a big payday for him. And that up and down on 18 actually made him like 70 grand more. So it was a very important stroke gain there. And adding on to all of this, even since the final round on Sunday, he's already been given a sponsor's exemption to 2 upcoming tournaments. This week, he'll play in the Charles Schwab Challenge. And then later on in mid-June, he'll play in the RBC Canadian Open.
So, Muff, just to educate myself and maybe some other listener, what is a sponsor exemption?
So you are not qualified to be in the field based on your merit. So you're not like the top 50 in the world. You also have like previous champions, and if you do well in other tournaments, you can gain entry into a field for that week. So you didn't automatically qualify, and this is in pretty much every tournament except for maybe the majors, where sponsors can be like, okay, we've got 5 spots left to round out our 120 player field. We can invite whoever we want to. So say Tiger Woods is interested in playing in one of these tournaments, and because he has not been winning and is not top whatever in the world, they can say, Tiger, you want to come? Because they know Tiger comes, eyes will be on the tournament, people will show up, they'll sell
So
more
we're
tickets.
saying that Charles Schwab,
The challenge, yeah.
the sponsor of that challenge, invited this gentleman?
Right, because they know that they're going to get more eyes on the tournament because he's in the limelight right now. He's in the spotlight. Obviously, they hope that he plays well and gets to the weekend. Not that I don't think they expect him to win, but they want him to be there for 4 days so that more people show up. It's like the prisoner of the moment, right? If he's here, more people will want to watch it. They'll get better TV ratings. They may have more people come to the tournament itself.
Does he have sponsor obligations then?
I don't think he'll have any additional sponsor obligations aside from having to do the regular media.
Okay, there isn't like he has to wear the hat, or it's
may.
not like NASCAR.
Well, if he gets a sponsor's exemption and they're going to pay him, I have a feeling he's not going to have a problem wearing a hat.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing that I've seen on record.
Like if you have a sponsor to race, okay.
Well, the sponsor exempted him. They did not. I think you still have to pay even if you're exempted. You still have to pay a fee to get into a tournament. Like you still have to buy in as a player.
Well, he's got the money to do it, so he should be fine.
Right now he'll be all right.
Yeah.
So it was a cool story throughout the weekend for people that follow golf, and it's like, hey, here's that guy that's always out on the driving range giving lessons, and this is one of those guys getting a shot.
Good on him.
Did anybody else watch any golf this weekend?
Not getting shot.
Getting a shot, yes.
Okay.
I watched it when it was on. I didn't sit down and watch a bunch of it, but
we watched a little bit of it on Friday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I was,
I can't watch golf right now.
Right now or ever?
I watched golf during COVID when it was like WWE and there were storylines, but now I just can't get into it.
Liv's a storyline, although Liv has stopped.
I gotta be up at like 4 a.m.
Well, Liv is not all of their events. They play in the United States. They're playing in DC here in a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
Liv has actually stopped reporting their television ratings
because they suck.
Because they're that bad.
Yeah.
So who knows the future of that in the next 5 years? Nate, Sam, you guys watch golf on Sunday afternoons, hanging out?
Nope.
Sam, no.
No, I can't say.
No, I'm with Jim. Like I can't sit down and watch golf like my grandfather does. Like they just jump around too much between golfers, and then I can't really follow along like one guy unless you like follow on like ESPN Plus and follow a guy around.
Fair enough. Let's get into some football news. Again, we're going to cover some NFL and college news in this one. In the NFL, the league meetings are happening this week. There will not be a vote on the official sale of the Commanders, as there are still conversations occurring about for ownership percentage, minority stake, and all of that. It's a lot of rich people being rich people stuff. But it is an agreement. It just has not been fully solidified. So good thing coming. Thing that's have been voted on is that Thursday night football game flexing will be a thing. It was voted on, passed, and received exactly the number of votes to pass, 24, with the Giants, Jets, Packers, Bears, Raiders, Lions, Bengals, and Steelers voting against.
What was the reasoning? I mean, I guess, I don't know. As a fan, I would never vote against it because then there's a better chance of getting like good primetime-ish games.
Yeah, I mean, I think teams are going to vote against it because it's a short week. And if we don't know about this short week from the beginning of the season, we don't have to be flexed to the short week, especially those last 5-6 weeks of the season.
Well, I think it was Al Davis said something too. It was like, you got all these people that could potentially be coming into Las Vegas, for example, to catch this game. And then now you want to tell these people, oh, by the way, you booked this hotel in advance. Now you got to reschedule everything.
That also makes sense. So part of the stipulations are Amazon Prime, which is obviously streaming Thursday games, gets only 2 flexes during the weeks of 13 to 17 in the NFL season. The flexes must be done within 28 days advance notice, and teams overall cannot play 2 away Thursday night football games in a season.
I still think they need to. I know it never happened because they do it from the beginning of the season. But I almost think if you're going to play Thursday night, you should have the previous Sunday off. I mean, to go from a Sunday game to a Thursday game and have 3 nights off, that's a lot.
Yeah. A post bye week Thursday makes the most sense. Or your bye week is the week after that Thursday game, so you get even more recovery time.
No, I think it should be before the Thursday is what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying one or the other. Like,
yeah.
If
I mean, you almost
know
get a bye week after because you play Thursday, then you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's basically like a normal week from there. So It's like a normal week plus 3 days. So I think they should have the bye before the Thursday game.
Mm-hmm. So that was it. I mean, we knew this was coming. I mean, they're trying to pretty much just every game is potentially flexible to make these primetime games better matchups for those TV ratings. They also passed, Jim. What else did they pass about quarterbacks?
They can have an emergency third quarterback position.
They can. It's somebody who isn't necessarily, it doesn't have to be actively rostered, but can be, I guess, on the field.
They're calling it the Brock Purdy rule.
Right. So,
well, wasn't there like a stipulation in that rule, like it doesn't count against your active 53?
Right.
Yeah.
That was the
Like
that was part
goalie.
So you hear that Sam Mason might get to play.
That's not nice. Quit making fun of him.
It's not nice that the Steelers might have to put up with him playing in an emergency situation.
That's rude. At least he's cute.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
He always has his little backpack that he takes a picture and posts it on Instagram every week.
Do you have the same backpack?
No, he has a different. I mean, it's like his little duffel bag.
Well, yeah, I mean, he only has a duffel bag. He doesn't need an equipment bag because he never dresses anyway.
It's not nice.
Boom, roasted. So this is the Brock Purdy rule. We'll see. No, it's funny. I saw something. I think it was on Twitter that they said, "Oh, we had to pass this rule because there's all this outrage because it happened in the playoffs and it put a bad product on the field." But nobody, it was like 5 years ago, was worried about this when the Eagles had the same thing happen. I forget who the starter at the time was. It may have been Carson Wentz, and then they had to put in who's that older quarterback who had all those super athletic videos out about him. Nate played for the Texans.
Was it McCown?
Yes. McCown went in, like pretty much tore his hamstring, but they didn't have anybody else on the roster to go in. So he stayed in and, played like poo. And the Eagles lost and it was like, nobody cared about it then. So I think it's a good thing overall. Other news, Dalvin Cook looks to be out after social media saw it first with the Vikings Twitter head removing him and Cook making his own social media comments. The Dolphins reportedly are the likely landing spot for Dalvin Cook as the Vikings look to move him and save $9 million against the cap.
That could be dangerous.
I think Miami's a great spot for him.
That's what I mean. Like right now,
Dolphins keep trending up. That's for sure.
So Muff, if Tua comes back and has all those weapons, Tua really doesn't have to do anything.
Still got to throw the ball to people.
I mean, he basically just has to stay upright.
You can say that.
Would you make him legitimate then?
Well, you just gave me every reason to say he's not legitimate. If he just has to stay upright and they win, that makes him the most illegitimate quarterback ever. If he just
right, but exists. I mean, like, if he gets to the dance,
then it makes the team legitimate. You just gave me the ultimate out.
All right, I just want to make sure we're playing the same game here. Okay,
yeah, playing the same game. Tua's got to make it through the season first, Jim.
Yeah, he's not.
Glad you're on the same page. A question from loyal listener Tyler, who commented on one of our social media posts throughout the week. I think this was in reply to one of
Which Tyler is this? We have a lot of Tylers.
This is a Ohio State fan, Tyler, Jim.
Okay. I like him already.
So
He says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, he asks, and I quote, "Does an expanded playoff ruin the importance of a non-conference game like Ohio State Notre Dame? Last year, or even this year, the loser of that game would have had to run the table to get in. Now you can lose that game and not think twice about it when you're a program like that."
I read that comment, and I'm going to give you an answer that like probably is not well liked. I think it can impact it in ways we don't comprehend yet. So, like, let's say Ohio State had lost to Notre Dame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they lose to Michigan. Then it's not good. But the question is, what if they run the table after that?
Right.
So let's say they went out, they beat Michigan, and let's say it's not a decisive victory, but that's Michigan's only loss, right? Now it comes to seeding. Where does Ohio State land? Who do they play first? Like, if they end up being, what are we saying? An expanded playoff, was it 12? Is what we expanded it to? Let's say they get Tennessee that's healthy, or a Bama that's healthy. I don't, that could have a big impact. Whereas had they gone undefeated, they're sitting at getting a lower seed.
Right.
So yes, it's still important. I think every game's important in this situation. I don't think it holds the value of be all end all that you're looking for, but I think every game's still important.
Yeah, I think it ruins the importance of scheduling tough non-conference games whenever the emphasis is going to be on winning your conference. Because that's your automatic in. You don't have to worry about the seeding after that.
I still think Notre Dame's a deal breaker. I still think you're going to have that subjective bullshit when it comes to the committee and seeding. A strong Notre Dame can upend anybody.
I'm saying, why do you even schedule that game, though?
Because you're going to have to. You're going to have to put Notre Dame on. Otherwise, like, I don't believe the NCAA or the playoff committee or anybody else that may have their influence is going to let Notre Dame go on an island.
When I think you want to schedule those games, because let's say you slip up and you lose a game you're not supposed to lose. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, well, who do they beat? Well, they played Idaho, Hawaii, Fresno State. I mean, no distant any of those teams, but I mean, it obviously looks a hell of a lot better to have a Notre Dame loss in your schedule than to slip up and lose to a smaller opponent. And
if we're being quite to Nate's point, the SEC, they can go on their island and play with each other. Like, and yes, I even said that, yes, but they can sit there and they can play inside a conference, and strength of schedule looks better than any other conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. Then just don't screw up, right? So you need to take a Notre Dame. The other conferences, no knock to the Big 12. I'm not trying to start a turf war already. It's still the summer. But like the Big 12 probably needs a strong Notre Dame in some situations, especially once Oklahoma and Texas leaves.
Nah, they got Colorado, Jim. They're good.
Yeah. You know, I think that like we're not at the moment yet where the conferences can stay on their own islands. So you need to schedule Notre Dame. I hope that helps.
Any other thoughts, Alex? How do you feel about this?
No, I just agree with Jim. I hope we don't lose that
banner moment.
I know. Did you want to mark that on the calendar?
Yeah, right.
No, I think that I kind of hope we never lose the like 2 out of conference games, because I think it's fun. Like, I think it gives you that opportunity for like even, I don't know.
I think you're gonna
a WVU Pitt game, and they're not in the same conference. Like, you get that opportunity to schedule that if you want. If not, you have no hope that ever happens again, and you're playing the same teams every year. don't know. I just think like it's fun to be able to have that. Like, oh, you never know. Like we could schedule someone cool, even if they'd won. Like,
Yes, I agree. I think that's a great hope and premise. But I think once we get to this next ACC point, I think your hopes start to dwindle.
that's just my hopes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a great point. I just don't see it lasting. We will see the demise of the out of conference schedule in our lifetime. Sure as shit in my kid's lifetime.
The demise, Jim. Let's talk about a little nugget that Kevin Warren left for the Big Ten on his way out.
Kevin. That's all I have to say. Wow. Fuck Kevin. That shithead couldn't even get the job done on his way out. TV deals for the Big Ten, they're not finished. In fact, we're losing money on them because we got to pay to get out of them.
Oh, that's not entirely accurate.
All right, go ahead. You break it down then.
I'll break down that specific piece. I want you to break down the big puzzle, Jim.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the Big Ten was in negotiations with. So the big deal was already made, right? We got Fox and the Big Ten Network through the rest of the decade, I think is officially what it was. Mm-hmm. And then we bring in NBC with Peacock and all of that to do some additional streaming.
Yep.
And apparently NBC, we'll just say NBC General, not including Peacock, but NBC General was given in basics, in terms, they were going to have some primetime games moving forward. Part of this was that Fox and Big Ten already had the majority of this locked up. So it's almost like they had to figure out, okay, which games are we going to give NBC to do this? The part of this was discussion on the Big Ten Championship, and I forget what year it is. So what Jim's talking about money is NBC is going to get one of those, or is potentially going to get one of those. And Fox is like, whoa, that was our game. We project that by taking this to NBC, it's going to cost us $40 million. So then it fell back on the schools to be like, hey, give us your cut of that 40 million to go through. So that's, I think, where you saw this, right, Jim? That's the big headline.
Yeah. Well, okay. Not just that, but like we also have to pay Fox for lost revenue in the COVID year.
No, that was going to happen either way.
But like Kevin couldn't have negotiated that down a little bit. The TV deals aren't in stone, and he went to the Chicago Bears. The USC UCLA situation isn't fully like in stone yet. Mm-hmm. And like he left. I have done great things for the Big Ten. I'm out of here. You didn't do shit, my friend.
He had them all. He has them all there. I don't know how the pass off went. I'm not going to say that.
He got them to the doorstep and was like, "Hey, I got some great ideas. These are the."
Oh no, he got them through the doorstep, Jim. This is just all the details. That one of these details I will say is NBC screwed themselves by letting it this far, because apparently part of the Big Ten's primetime portion, because NBC is all primetime games. Part of this is apparently a lot of Big Ten teams have these clauses with scheduling that don't allow them to play primetime games because they want to be locked in at these noon games, like the Ohio State Michigan game, always a noon game, right?
Yes.
Which means NBC's never going to get that game. And apparently Penn State also has in like November on that they will not play unless it's probably like an ESPN primetime game, because they're worried about people traveling out of, BFE, which is where Penn State is in State College. They don't want people traveling at night if there's a snowstorm.
But you can't tell me that Kevin didn't see this coming. He was commissioner for 3 years. He started this negotiation. I feel like he negotiated with NBC in bad faith. That's what I think. I think he was like, hey, we'll take your mega millions and everything's going to be okay, NBC, I swear. Hey, Chicago Bears, come get me, please.
When can I start? About 2 months earlier.
Like, forget you. Fuck you, Kevin. That's what I got to say. Hopefully we never mention him on this podcast after today.
Well, he's going to do something with the Bears sooner or later that we're going to have to talk about.
And I get to laugh at it.
Well, were they going to move out of Soldier Field?
He'll do something stupid.
I think that's
a comment.
that's already happening before him.
He'll trade his whole offensive line. Dumbass.
Don't think that's his role.
He'll figure it out.
All right. So, as Jim alluded to earlier, there's also some ACC news, as reports are out there that 7 schools are ready to leave, and if an 8th leaves, it would be the end of the conference. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips acknowledged the league's position relative to the SEC and Big Ten, and has hired outside help to help find new revenue streams for the conference. It's locked into its media rates deal through 2036. That's outrageous that they locked it up for that long. What it would cost.
Maybe I had Kevin on the board then.
What it would cost to try to get out of the ACC is not totally clear. The exit fee alone is 120 million, and then there's also other rights that come into it as well as the media deal. So we'll see what comes of this. Jim, more chat about here.
I think the ACC should probably explode. I'm okay with this. Honestly, you know what I think? Hot take. I think West Virginia is the issue with the ACC. That's what I think.
Meaning what?
I think West Virginia should have gone back to the ACC. They had no business in the Big 12. And we should have kept it a basketball conference. And we bring me back Pitt and WVU games.
Talking about the Big East, Jim.
Yeah, give me the Big East.
You want the old Big East to come back.
I do. But instead, we should let the ACC blow up, and the big conferences should just suck up the leftovers. I vote Clemson goes to the SEC because I don't want them.
You don't want to see him? You don't want to see Dabo?
No. Now, if they got rid of Dabo, I might consider it, but no.
So what ACC schools would you want in the Big Ten?
Let me check.
Florida State.
Nope. Get them yahoos out of here.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, I'd take that one. That's okay. Virginia Tech. Boston College.
Of course you want Boston. Jim, you would have the worst time ever. You'd be like wanting to bet on Boston College every week because you'd see them.
Every week. Why is Alex not even in on this conversation?
I got a little distracted for a hot second. I'm not going to lie.
Is your friend out the window?
No, I don't have a friend out the window this time. This was more legit than the friend out the window.
Okay.
Let's send all North Carolina schools to the Big 12.
This I feel like I've talked about this part of this before. The ACC Big 12 mix and match kind of. I think that if you take the best of the ACC and the middle of the Big 12, you'd have a really good conference.
Pitt, Boston College,
North Carolina,
Syracuse. No, I'm talking about forget you, bud. I'm talking about Big Ten. Pitt, Boston College, Louisville. We'll take those over.
We'll take those.
So basically what I just said, you're just gonna
We're gonna
wash.
give you guys the North Carolina teams.
No.
Wake, NC
No.
State, Duke.
Hey, Duke would be good for the Big 12 for basketball.
So you need Pitt, Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Are we doing a
You
draft?
want-
Is
no,
that what
I'm-
we're doing?
No, I'm talking about for the Big 12. Pitt.
No.
I want Pitt and Virginia Tech.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it makes sense.
No, it does not. It just
If-
gives your team somebody to play.
And all the teams that are like in our area of skill.
What teams in the Big 12 are in your areas of skill?
I
Geographically, even.
am not talking about
I don't
geographically.
think skill and maps have anything to do with each other.
Literally zero to do with each other.
There's nobody on this side of the map that is in the Big 12.
What does that have to do with anything?
So let's just take WVU, put in the Big 10. Then we'll
Okay.
take Pitt.
Jim, the Big
This
Ten is about to
terrible.
get USC and UCLA. I don't think
We're
geographics
throwing
have
them
anything to do
back. Give
We're-
them back.
with the back.
We don't need them.
I'd take USC over WVU for the
Nope.
conference.
Give me Pitt, WVU. Give me Boston College. I'll take Syracuse. Give me all them East Coast teams.
All of those East Coast teams would do great in a league with WVU, Iowa State, Oklahoma State. You put all those
WVU,
teams together.
all the bullshit on the West. No,
I don't know why you're so fixed on a map.
because it makes sense.
Your
for
league
fan
is
base.
your conference is literally going against what you're saying right now.
Because we got them two dumb teams we just picked up. I'm saying give
Okay.
them back.
So why can't, if we have a whole East Coast group, take a couple teams that are a little Midwest? Iowa is not on the West Coast.
No, I'm taking WVU. I'm
Neither
sorry.
is Oklahoma.
Welcome
Literally,
to the Big
they're
Ten,
right
Alex.
in the middle.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Alex.
I would not
USC
join the Big Ten for anything.
USC and UCLA are going to be the Kevin Warren gift that keeps on giving for Jim, apparently.
Ugh.
I hope they come in and run the conference.
Who
I
run
didn't
the
say
Big
anything.
Ten? The West Coast.
I'm trying to adopt you into a performing conference.
I am making my own conference.
The Alex Super Conference.
Yep.
Trying to make this geographically sound for you, sir.
Yours is not geographic.
You know what? If you want to travel all over the damn country, that's
Why can Ohio State play? Why can Ohio State play in a conference with Iowa, but we can't play in a conference with Iowa State?
You keep citing one team. What about all the other schools you have to go to?
Oklahoma State, Texas, all right down the middle of the country. It's not like I'm saying all these California teams.
You're in West Virginia, and I've already negated this. I've already said throw the California schools back.
You can't just make that rule. It's already happened.
I've already said that. Like, I'm taking West Virginia. I can say whatever I want.
Kevin.
All right. Moving on to some Ohio State news, Jim. Ohio State has lost 2024 number one recruiting prospect Dylan Raiola to Georgia.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
It happens.
The QB, right?
Yep.
This is what drives me nuts.
What?
If we were talking about this right now and I said that about West Virginia, you'd be like, oh, sucks. And that's why they
First
lost.
off, you just made a whole fantasy up in your head that somebody stole a quarterback from West Virginia.
Never know.
That's just lunacy.
Never know.
You know, West Virginia is where people dump their trash.
Such as, Jim. No,
Tires, couches.
Oh, you're not even talking about like
Oh, so now
prospects.
you're personal
You're talking
attack.
about
See, now it's a
this has nothing to do
personal
with
attack.
football anymore.
Nope.
Now
It
it's
started
personal.
out well, Alex, but now it's just gone downhill.
Well, don't worry, Alex. We had a fan call Jim out.
Yeah, I've got
Last
one for
week.
him too.
A Michigan fan on a Facebook comment from one of our shorts over the last week called out Jim because he mentioned that Ohio State, there's really nobody in the Big Ten whose roster was competitive. I believe Georgia and Alabama were the two. Well, you said not even Alabama this year. You said Georgia's it. Well, this gentleman.
You're misquoting me, first of all. But okay.
Go ahead. Line it up.
I said there was no reason on paper to count Texas out.
Fair enough.
On paper, they have a quality roster. They have better roster than even Ohio State, in my opinion.
Okay, Urban.
That's what led this, because Urban Meyer was the one who brought it up, and I was like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
So
I saw the spring games. Go ahead.
This person calls out Jim,
Yep.
saying that Michigan's roster is stacked and that Michigan has bested Ohio State.
I
in the
know,
past
2
years.
wins, 2 years in a row.
Saying that they have the number one. I don't know where these rankings were by, but it was a screenshot or
Yep.
something. They have a number 1 ranked running back unit, the number 2 ranked offensive line, number 2 ranked safeties, the number 4 ranked defensive linemen, linebackers, and quarterbacks, with a 5-star quarterback returning as a junior. Jim, what do you say to this Michigan fan?
Son of longtime Michigan coach Bo Schembechler, Glenn Shemmy Schembechler, had to issue an apology for his flippant behavior because he liked some racist tweets on Twitter. Stop coming at me, Michigan fan, and worry about your coaches and your longtime people who are racist.
So you have
Get
no
off my
response
ass.
to the fact that Michigan's got a better recruitment team. You're just going to call them racists.
How do they have a better recruitment team, sir? Where does that say they have a better recruitment team?
I'm just saying, okay.
Where
I
does
won't
it
even
say
use the
that?
word- I won't even use the word better. I'll say instead of addressing the fact that Michigan has a great great.
Okay, Alex, if recruiting's better than racism, I guess that's the place you want to land.
But this is what I mean.
If
Instead of
recruiting's
addressing
better
the
than
problem,
racism, Alex,
instead of
you know
addressing
what
the
the problem is in
problem, the real
America?
question
Racist.
here, we're
Racist
gonna.
is the problem, Alex. Let's address racists.
I'm not saying racists are good. I'm saying you're not
Racism
answering the
is
question.
bad.
You're deflecting. Like
Is racism bad?
I'm not going to comment. I'm not
Racism
going to
is
comment on
bad,
the team
Alex.
being good.
Racism is
Racist.
bad.
Jim, is Michigan's
Racist? Yes.
roster is Michigan's roster better or is Texas's roster better?
I don't know.
You don't know? You were so on point to back up Urban, and now that
I
somebody brings
said
this
that I
up,
don't know that he is wrong. That was what
Oh.
I said.
so do you know if is this Michigan fan wrong?
I just said I don't know.
He just knows that they're racist.
I also know that their coach is racist, or I think he's a coach. In fact, I think he's on the team, part of the personnel. He's a racist.
Right over there, dum dum.
In other interesting news in sports,
Muff just hit us on the timeout button and brought us back. Quick end to the racist talk.
I thought we were about to be put in timeout, to be honest.
So did I.
yeah,
I was like, oh no.
I thought somebody had to tinkle. In the NBA playoffs, the Nuggets are up 3 on the Lakers and have been dominant with Nikola Jokic doing his thing, while Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and the rest of the Lakers have just looked overmatched across the board. Jim, you've been revving the people up, getting ready to present something on LeBron James and refuting me and calling back other episodes and things that I've said.
Yeah.
Jim, now is your time to shine, buddy. Now is your time to shine.
I am going to issue a public apology. I thought I was going to come guns hot. And then LeBron has done enough in the last 3 games that even if I tried to come at you, Muff, LeBron has proven your point in 3 games. Probably tonight for 4 games, or whenever you're listening to this episode, probably in 4 games, probably got swept. That if I tried to refute you, Muff, I would look like an asshole.
Well, quick live look in, about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. The Lakers are up 65-56.
Well, either the NBA is rigged and this is all set for a giant comeback, at which point I probably will never even speak on the NBA again, or eventually LeBron's going to blow this because, he looked pathetic. And you were right, Muff. He has to win this championship in order to have any conversation. So I take it all back.
I was gonna say, speaking of this live look in, LeBron has 29 of the team 65 right now.
So tonight he'll go big.
NBA rigged.
I mean, really.
Here's what's hilarious to me, aside from what Jim said, is the NBA Finals. If both teams win 3-0, they have like a 10-day break because the beginning of the finals is already set.
Yeah, that's stupid.
How dumb is it that you set that date so far in advance before you even know the teams and how things shake out? And you have potentially 10 days between the end of the conference finals and the beginning of the finals. Talk about just taking eyes off. And if it's not the Lakers and the Celtics, there's actually a conversation I heard of in the other Eastern Conference, the Heat are up 3-0. And the Celtics have pretty much just cashed out. There's actually discussion about why don't you just do like a 3-game series between the Celtics and the Lakers just to get the ratings and to fill the time of 10 days between the end of the conference finals and the beginning of the finals and say it's a 3rd place game. You can just make stuff up. I mean, the COVID finals, which don't count for LeBron's championship, but he still has 5.
You know what? I'm not gonna fight you. I'm really not. I can't. He's just
Scarier when
an
Jim
ass of
stops
himself.
fighting.
Well, I didn't win. LeBron just lost.
He just looks so bad. So bad. You see the TikToks from the game where his team is down, they're huddling, and he's off on the bench by himself. You don't see LeBron or not. You don't see Michael or Steph or any of them doing that shit. He hurts his own legacy every time. Like just when you think I'm gonna go to bat for LeBron, like people are taking shots at him. I'm gonna defend him. We can be haters, but I'm gonna defend him. He does that flop that I sent you guys, where
It
he
was
wasn't even touched
And he went all the way into a guy who then spilled a drink on him,
on
and then
himself. Like God,
he gave a
every
towel.
time. And he looks like he's been shot when he gets that flop. Like, buddy, Space Jam sucked. Your acting was bad there. Do you need more proof? Ugh. It's not like Kevin, though. I don't
Sorry you
hate
had
him
to
that
come to
bad.
it this way.
And thank you, Alex. That's the truth. Like, I had to come to that realization on my own.
I know you did.
I'm glad you did. We're glad
Thanks.
you did. In other basketball news,
No, you know what? Damn it. No,
What?
we're not done with this.
we're not.
No. So, like, I do have to ask this question. If we've seen him flop, we see him sitting on the bench, okay?
Mhm.
And let's say that he wills the Lakers. Let's say the storyline fits and he wills the Lakers past the Nuggets and he goes to glory and he gets another ring.
Mhm.
Can we actually like bite into that story and be like, man, this is like the flu game, or this is like, will we ever get to that point where this man will have a legend like Michael?
This would be it if they come down from 3-0, which no team has ever done in the NBA,
Uh-huh.
and they go on to win the finals. This would be legendary.
But do you like, can we not put an asterisk by it? Can we not, knowing what we've seen, the flop, knowing that we've seen him, and then seeing the headlines today, and I've seen them, guys. I've seen him going, LeBron will never let his team get swept in 4. LeBron will make the ultimate comeback today in game 4. Like, I've seen the hype already. How can we, as logical human beings, not say this shit was set up?
Oh, I've always kind of wondered that about the NBA, just because it's such a reality TV show in itself.
And Muff, I know you and I were kids, and the other two probably weren't even born for the flu game. But like, I don't remember that vibe being about Mike. Do you?
Oh no, it was. I mean, well, some of it was. I think the way that they framed the narrative was different, and you just expected him to win. You didn't have to. There was not fanfare. You were watching because you expected to see greatness, not because they had to hype up greatness.
Right. It was not manufactured greatness. Thank you. So even if he doesn't, I feel like he was gifted it. Go ahead. Muff.
End rant, Jim.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Made me look like an asshole, damn it.
Jumping into the WNBA, Becky Hammond, the coach who was with the San Antonio Spurs and left to go to the WNBA for WNBA terms, a large contract for a coach, was suspended. The suspension has already expired as far as the time period. The WNBA announced last week on Tuesday that they would also lose their 2025 first round pick, and that Becky Hammond was going to be suspended for the first 2 games of the season after a league investigation determined that the defending champion Aces violated league rules regarding impermissible player benefits and workplace policies. So
I would like to know what that
Did
was.
she give some cheeseburgers to these underpaid women?
That's why I said I would like to know what could possibly.
Offering under the table payments to current players and free agents they were trying to sign. That was the impermissible player benefits part. I didn't see.
Literally already make nothing. So
right, there wasn't a whole lot that I saw that went into more detail there. But in the workplace policies, WNBA player Derica Hamby shared on social media, this was back in January, that she was traumatized by the unprofessional and unethical way that she was treated following her announcement of pregnancy and subsequent trade to the LA Sparks. Hamby added the Aces falsely accused her of signing extension while knowingly pregnant. Hammond shares that she thought her relationship with Hamby was typical and on the up and up.
is it legal? So, like in the real world, you can't ask someone if they're pregnant.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to do that in this situation since it physically alters your job?
I don't know, and I don't know that we can speak on that without like diving into legally.
That's what I mean.
It would sound like from this that you cannot make a decision on somebody's current contract based on that. I think Hamby is saying they traded me because they knew I was pregnant.
But you
Yeah.
can't. She can't prove that, and we don't know that that's what the
Well, that's a
suspension
touchy-
was for.
Unless she
That
had,
part of it's touchy.
unless she had divulged it, right?
But even then, like, I'm sorry, unless
But
the
you could at least say that they
WNBA
were
says
aware.
Technically,
they were
could-
aware she
yeah.
was pregnant.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
not saying you
pregnant.
can.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can make the two connect, but you can at least they can at least say they knew I was, and this trade wasn't a conversation until they knew I was. You can make that argument. I'm not saying it's true or false.
I want to know if that's why the WNBA is coming down on Hammond or not. If they,
I'm
if they
assuming
are,
yes,
they have the
Jim.
proof. Yeah, but I don't know. That's a safe assumption.
They just lost a first round draft pick, and she's suspended for 2
But they
games.
also
There's got to
have
be something.
impermissible benefits
I don't
and
think.
workplace violations.
Yeah, both were cited as reasons for these things.
I don't know if this trade in particular was the trade in part of the news you read, Muff, is my question.
Yes, this was pulled almost word for word from an article.
Damn. Then there's got to be more info as far
There's-
as like they had to have
there's some smoke
investigated and
there.
found it. Right.
There's something there.
Yep.
So it may.
But that-
it's
and
probably
I-
it's a bad look on the league to fully go into the detail. I'm sure.
Right.
So you're probably not going to see all of the details. You're just going to see what you need to see to understand that something was there. They dealt with it. Do they deal with it well enough? We're never going to know.
At the risk of being severely insensitive, is that not a rock and a hard place
For who?
for everybody?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those. Well, in the men's leagues, we don't have to worry about this, right?
But like Hamby, so does she not tell people?
Oh yeah, that
Does
part, yeah.
any female not say I'm pregnant and run the risk?
Oh, in an athletic situation for sure.
Right.
This isn't like an individual sport like Serena Williams comes out and says, "Hey guys, I'm pregnant." Serena can take the time she needs off and then come back and compete as an individual.
But like in this league and soccer, they're not getting paid enough.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to get championed for taking the time off.
Right.
Serena takes time off and is like, "Oh, women power and entitlement, and
Mhm.
this is amazing." This basketball player is, and I'm not trying to besmirch her name, is nobody in the media eyes. You know what I mean? So she takes time
Right.
off. It's like I don't know who that is.
Right.
So it's rock hard place. This is a shitty situation.
Yep. I agree. Jumping back to the NBA, the draft lottery occurred last week, and the Spurs win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. And the road to make the pick begins, as nobody is doubting that he will be the number one pick, this professional teenager from France. Did anybody watch this, see the replay?
No, I knew the result. I looked
Or
at the end
care.
result, but that was about it.
So in the NBA world, this is a huge deal because apparently Victor Wembanyama is the best thing and maybe even better thing than LeBron James.
That's what, yeah, and I saw that, but I don't know. But I think like it's funny because maybe it's because LeBron James was in America, but I knew about LeBron James before he got drafted. Do you know what I mean? Like I knew, and like this is the first I'm really hearing about this guy.
It was also kind of local.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
this
kinda
kid from
true, too.
Akron was like, I had kids on my high school team playing with LeBron.
Mhm.
Like it was more relative to us, the Ohio Valley thing.
Maybe, yeah.
It was still national news. LeBron James. I mean, it was happening.
Yeah,
I
Jim's
agree
still
that
pissed at LeBron now.
I am pretty pissed.
I agree that the locale here, but if you're looking at national and even international spotlight, Wembanyama he's been the guy for the past probably 1 to 2 years. Do we think it's fair to even like draw comparisons to somebody like LeBron in this situation, or other greats because of the high really fail rate of first round draft picks in all
I think we do
sports?
this a lot, and
Thank you.
I won't buy into it
Mhm.
until I see proof.
So this is unfair to an 18-year-old. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it gives unnecessary hype to the situation where now he's expected to be LeBron, where even if he's a decent player, he's not the next LeBron. So I think it like does look bad on him.
Yeah, you're putting you're putting expectations out in a kid that could be unrealistic. Because like Alex said, like if he doesn't come in and start averaging doubles every game, it's like, oh well, this kid's not that good.
Right.
And that's not fair because he could be a very good player, just not LeBron good.
Right. He'll be a bust if he's not averaging, 25 points by his second year in the league.
Yeah.
That is unfair. Other things that are unfair, especially for the bird population, Nate. We had a bird killed.
Yeah, I
in
don't
baseball.
know, minor league game or if it was a major league game, and guys just out in the outfield tossing warm up before the game, and this bird just flew directly into the path of this guy. They said it was actually through a curveball. Just the catcher on a flat ground. It's like just when you thought Randy Johnson would be the only one to do it, now we got it again. I'm freaking believing.
And it was in the same stadium, was it?
Yeah, I was in the same stadium, so it was in Arizona. I just don't know if it was a minor league game or if it was in Major League ballpark.
Birds in Arizona, watch the hell out.
Don't go to baseball games. Pick a new sport.
Birds in Arizona, horses, and wherever the Preakness is held.
I kind of want that on a shirt. Birds
What?
in Arizona, watch the hell out. That's good shit.
And lastly, and another interesting news in sports, Nate has brought forth a high school basketball change that will be going into effect next season. The National Federation of State High School Associations, which is the most crazy thing, released that beginning next year, high school basketball teams will shoot 2 free throws for common fouls when in the bonus. This eliminates the 1-on-1 scenario and sets new foul limits each quarter for awarding the bonus free throw, with 5 fouls each quarter instead of the previous 7 fouls and a half to get to the 1-on-1 and 10 and a half to get to the double bonus. How do we feel about this?
I don't care.
Well, people that actually, Alex, myself, Nate brought it up. I don't know how much Nate keeps tabs on high school basketball.
None.
Okay. Alex.
I don't know. I don't really understand it. I think it's gonna make the game longer. I don't know what their goal was. I want to know what their goal was with it, I guess.
So they cited injury rates and rebounding because these situations provide a higher rate of injury or potential rate of injury, and that resetting each quarter will improve the game flow and allow teams to adjust their play by not carrying foul totals from quarter to quarter, or at least to quarters 2 and 4.
See, and I don't like that because why change your rules when that's going to be the rules of the next level? Do you know what I mean? Like basketball is played in half. Like it's always so. If you want to play
those
college,
things are
it's going to be in halves. And if you're the rebounding, it does and it doesn't. I mean, yeah, that first shot in a 2-shot situation, you don't rebound. But if they make it, you don't really go at each other and rebound either.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, there's going to be one rebound situation.
Well, realistically, this also should create more scoring.
You know what I think?
I don't really like it, to be honest.
What do you think, Jim?
I think they should investigate high school teams. Like we should do research on the shoes the kids wear. We should investigate statewide flooring. Because you see more blown ACLs. Maybe we should just figure out are we on the right surface and are they wearing the right shoes? I think rebounds, maybe not that big a deal.
I mean, the most really physical play, right? Consistently in basketball at all levels.
But I don't think
rebounding.
that's I don't think we're getting to the root of the problem.
Nate, do we need to look into those things? I mean, the football, they've already started looking at all of that, right? I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have. I haven't heard anything. I mean, there are a couple football rule changes at the high school level coming this year, but I don't think any of them. Well, there's one that is a little bit controversial to some people. So, in high school football this year, there used to be a rule that was called the all but one principle. So, let's say offense has the ball 1st and 10, drop back to pass, and then you have a hold on the left tackle, say 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So instead of it being 1st and 25, now it's going to be 1st and 20 because it's going to go from the previous spot instead of the spot of the foul.
And that is controversial to whom?
To a lot of older officials saying, why are we changing the way the game's being done? And it's and the offense is kind of getting a slap on the wrist compared to what they should, because it's oh, well, if I'm going to get beat here, I'm going to get beat 7 yards behind the play instead of having first and 27. It would just be first and 20.
Okay.
Makes
Because
sense.
people are bailing out the offenses for playing poorly.
I'm sorry to go back on my statement about shoes on the flooring. I just look at I happen to be live streaming some games because I have a relative that plays high school basketball in the Ohio Valley in particular. And I'm looking at floors that I know I wrestled on. I'm 37, so 20 years ago. And I know they weren't redone. You know what I'm saying? And if Steph can tell a dead spot in an NBA floor and bad spots in the floor, and you know those are getting redone all the time, there's got to be bad spots in the flooring around high schools. Right?
Oh, there's bad spots on any type of playing surface
But
around, unless it's new.
Yeah, but then it comes back to, can the school feasibly repair or redo the floor every so many years?
Yeah. Do you think the community is going to say, yeah, put my tax dollars towards redoing that floor over and over again?
I think Jim's saying maybe once every 20 years we should be able to do it.
See, I even think back
You're
to
not wrong.
You go back to 20 years, it's like, when did all these ACL injuries start happening?
Well, there's
It's
another good point, Nate.
I mean, when I think back to playing in youth sports and even in high school, I heard maybe one, maybe two kids tearing ACLs.
And it was fluke.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you can make the argue for grass or turf in football, but you're talking about basketball here. I don't ever recall anybody in basketball growing up getting anything more than a sprained ankle.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I would be curious what injuries they are citing. They could literally be saying somebody got their ankle rolled up on, somebody got an elbow to the face, somebody had to get stitches. Okay, that's the nature of playing a physical sport. It happens.
Exactly.
Rebounding or not. So,
hey, lastly, we didn't put this in the notes. I'm sorry. Carmelo Anthony retired today.
he hasn't been playing for a year.
He hasn't been playing.
No.
Yeah, but he made a picture on his socials. He put a little video out there.
Yeah,
I think that's a big deal for you and I, Muff. Weren't we
he was with Syracuse in 2003 when they won the national championship. So his our high school end of high school years collided with his NBA career.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys pretty much grew up watching Carmelo in the NBA.
What I mean.
Yeah, I mean he would have been one of the guys. Carmelo, LeBron at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were some of the big guys, the big names that were happening.
Where does he land on the mountains?
He's not any mountain, but he's definitely he's revered around the league as a true point scorer, a true scorer. He was, always had the shot, always was going to be able to figure out a way, kind of like how Paul Pierce used to have that. It's no matter how old he is, no matter how slow he looks, he's always going to find a way to score. So that's kind of the Carmelo Anthony legacy. Still respected around the league as somebody who could score no matter what. Just could he do it consistently at that age?
Fair enough.
So that wraps up another episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. As always, remember, follow us on our socials, get on the YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, as Jim says. Do all of the things. Do we have any snippets from Sam before we leave?
Any snippets?
I don't think I have anything.
Remember to follow Harper and Company.
Please follow Harper and Company on Facebook, Instagram,
Etsy.
all of the things. I have someone doing my social media now, so there will be some good posts.
Oh, you have a guy.
Is his name Nate?
I got a girl, but
Got a person.
I got a girl. Her name's Bailey.
Do you let her out of the basement, or is she with the rest of the workers?
I do let her out of the basement. Wink.
She's
So
doing
does
social media.
Does she still get Starbucks if she's not in the basement?
Ooh, that's a good
Yes.
question. She gets
I will
regular Starbucks.
I'll still give her Starbucks.
So question,
I threw her.
Harper.
Okay, so really, I'm great.
Question, Harper and Co.
Yes,
You know those new trendy cups with a straw?
the Stanley Cups. Yes.
Yes. Do you
Jim's blue one or green one?
First off, I got a white one or a grayish one and a green one. Anyway,
Basic
Harp-
bit. Yes,
hey man, I live my life. Do you decorate those?
I can decorate those.
But do you
Can't do
decorate
so.
those?
There's some people out there that are like etching them in like different colors. That takes something I don't have, but I can decorate them.
So you put a sticker on them? What do you do? Tell us about this.
I could do a sticker.
What if I want a custom wrap camo?
I could do a custom wrap camo for you any day.
There you go, listeners. If you want your camo Stanley,
Are you
Harper
just trying
and
to
Company.
masculine it up a little?
I know, girl.
See, I'm just trying to get Harper and Company some more buyers.
Can you make a flat Stanley?
I love that. I will make whatever kind of Stanley you want. You want leopard? I'll give you leopard. You want camo? You can have camo.
Flat Stanley.
Muff, nobody gets your joke.
I get it. I thought it was funny. I was trying to, in my mind, think how we could
Oh,
make a
flat
Stanley.
Stanley. Okay, so fun fact.
Ah, see, everyone gets it.
Me and my craftiness, I want to make my boss into a flat Stanley-esque thing for the summer and have people take him on vacation and have a contest with who takes him the best place.
Like newspapers do that, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think
Have
it's
at
cute.
Remember to do that. Remember to follow at Harper and Company. Remember to follow us. Because to keep this rocket ship going up, 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 and away through the planets to the galaxy, bing, 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 you have to tell a friend.
What was that noise? Bing,
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 bing.
bing, 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 bing. Tell a friend. Make a friend. Be.